Welcome to Meet the Candidates, the local election forum from Pioneer PBS. This season, we asked every candidate the same list of questions to learn more about what type of legislator they will be if elected. In this episode, we will meet candidates from Senate District 12. District lines have changed since the 2020 census. District 12 is made up of Big Stone, Stevens, Swift, and Pope counties, and portions of Douglas and Stearns counties. Major cities include Alexandria, Sauk Centre, Morris, and Benson. To find out which district you live in, visit mnvotes.org. And now, let's meet the candidates. Senate District 12 is unique in that it has 3 candidates on the ballot. We will start with DFL candidate Carrie Dory.
Thank you to Pioneer Public TV for hosting these interviews and allowing the voters of District 12 to get to know their candidates a little bit better. I'm Carrie Dory. I'm from Ortonville, the same place that I grew up and went to school. I moved back to Ortonville after my husband and I found out we were having twins, and we knew we wanted to bring our kids back to Ortonville, the place that we know and love, and certainly where we wanted to raise our own kids. I'm a first-time candidate for the Minnesota Senate for District 12. District 12 covers a very large area. It covers Big Stone, Swift, Stevens, and Pope counties. It also covers a part of Stearns and a portion of Douglas County, which includes Alexandria. I'm probably not your usual rural candidate. First, I'm a woman, and I'm a working mom. I'm running with the support of my family, with my husband Chris and our 3 teenage sons, Owen, Elliot, and Archer. I teach early childhood special ed. This is my 21st year of teaching. I'm also the school readiness coordinator for our district. I'm a community volunteer and a fierce advocate for our youngest learners. I'm anxious to bring my experience and advocacy from a local level to a more broad scale by running for the Minnesota legislature. I will always refer to this campaign as our campaign. We've had donors and volunteers and supporters from across the district really stepping up and making this campaign something really special. Deciding to run wasn't an easy decision, but I know it was the right one. I wake up every day more eager to represent the people of rural Minnesota. After my experience, which has really been a great experience, I would invite anybody to run for office at all levels of government, from our local school board races all the way up to state positions. It's really important for us to run to make our government work better for the people, run to be part of the solution and not part of the problem.
Why do you want to be the senator for your district?
I'm running because the people of Western Minnesota deserve to be represented by someone who is fully dedicated to public service, someone committed to advancing the best and the broadest interests of all of our people. I'm running to bring common ground to our government and to also work to overcome division, which there's far too much of these days. I also want voters to know that I'm not running with the intent of making a lifetime career out of being your state senator. This isn't a resume builder, but I'm here as an opportunity to be a dedicated public servant to you. I'm running because I firmly believe it's my first duty to serve our most vulnerable neighbors, our kids and our seniors and our neighbors most in need. This is the first place our government can make a difference by offering a helping hand. We have the power to make lives better, to make them less precarious, and certainly more secure. Some of our legislators openly reject the idea of caring for those most in need, and that's certainly something I will never do. Indifference and contempt are not Minnesota values. We all have dreams of a better, brighter future for all of us. Our families and our neighbors deserve the full attention and compassion from their state senator, and they already have mine. I'm running to be an advocate that we all deserve in rural Minnesota. Our families and our neighbors deserve a senator who will fight for them when fighting is called for, and who will seek common ground and compromise more often than not. We deserve a senator that will do the people's business, not grandstand, not obstruct, and not renege on promises for political gain. Governing should not be a game of winners and losers. Our senators should lead the cheering section on the behalf of all of us, and in the end, more of us should see ourselves as winners.
What are your priorities for the next legislative session?
My first priority for the next legislative session is to give the people of our district my full attention and dedication to service. I'm committed to avoiding unnecessary controversies and focusing on the interests that matter the most to all of us. Hundreds of bills will be introduced for my consideration. I'll focus on those that matter the most and that will affect the people of my district, and certainly avoid those that aren't broadly in our best interest. I'll further prioritize those issues that most help our communities thrive. Our schools and our hospitals and our main streets certainly all deserve their fair share of resources. It's a priority for me to be a problem solver. Right now in our district and across the state, we certainly have a very large childcare crisis. This is an opportunity for our politicians to come together, to work together, and to find a solution to this problem, which is affecting so many families and employers. It's true that the next legislative session will start with a huge budget surplus, and deciding what to do with that money most likely will be a battle. There was a deal on the table the last session, but certain legislators reneged on that the last minute to score political points. The state's windfall flowed in from a thriving economy, and it needs to be allocated fairly and wisely, with a top priority to return a large portion of that surplus to all Minnesotans to offset the burden of rising costs.
What unique perspective do you bring to the Minnesota Senate?
Since I started campaigning, I've had a lot of people say to me, "You don't seem like a normal politician," and they're certainly right about that. I'm not a normal politician. I'm just a woman and a mom trying to do right by my community. And I also think it's unfortunate that the word politician lately has had a really negative connotation to it. That's something we need to change, and that's certainly something we need to do to bring integrity back to the office. As a woman and as a working mom, I feel like I bring an important and long-needed perspective to our Senate campaign. At my core, I'm committed to focus on what really matters, to avoid unnecessary division and grandstanding, and to seek common ground whenever and wherever I can on the behalf of our neighbors in Western Minnesota. Finding common ground is truly a value that I believe in. My roots run deep in rural Minnesota. My family goes back 5 generations in Big Stone County. As a mom with 3 sons and as a teacher of 20 years, I bring my everyday experience of people just like me to this public service. From my time spent at the church to being a community volunteer and leader, I know what it takes to build community and to help everyone thrive. I also know the struggles. I've been that mom crying on the bathroom floor because I didn't know how to pay the bills that kept coming in. I've been in the family that has tried to find a good paying job so we could make ends meet with our small children. I also know the impacts of programs like WIC and Minnesota Care, which were a lifesaver for my family when our kids were little. Rural communities should have a brighter future than just hanging on. We have the power to see and realize a brighter future. And I know my unique perspective from my life experience will help me be an advocate for all of us in rural Minnesota.
What is your vision for the future of Minnesota?
People of Minnesota should be represented by a neighbor that they can trust and that they can respect. Their senators should believe in the brightest future for the state and its people and advance a vision where everyone has a chance to thrive, everyone can be healthy and prosperous, and everyone can live their best lives. To win that future, we need to level the playing field. We need to focus on having a better, brighter future for all of our people and not settle for a mediocre vision of tomorrow. I have a vision of thriving schools, busy main streets, and getting our seniors the care that they need. I have a vision of helping our family farmers get their fair shake, as well as creating pathways for new farmers, for young families to have a chance to do that important work. I have a vision that women will continue to have control of their own bodies, because that's certainly not a government's place to meddle. Paul Wellstone certainly said it best when he said, "We all do better when we all do better." I believe that in my heart, and I know that we have what it takes as a state to make sure everyone can thrive, not just a select few.
And now, a closing statement.
Let's talk about voting. Minnesota often has the highest voter turnout in the country. All Minnesotans should be proud of our election process. Democracy cannot survive without free and fair elections, both nationally and at every state level. As Minnesotans, we know that elections in our state are not a problem to be solved, but rather an achievement to be celebrated, and voting itself is a right to be protected. We take that right very seriously. Get involved in the public conversation. Get to know your candidates on the ballot and exercise your patriotic duty to vote. Early voting is open now through November 7th. And if you don't hit that up, make sure you get to your polling place on November 8th. I think elections should mostly be about integrity and character. We should expect those we elect to be forthright, honest, and trustworthy. I promise to live up to these standards and pledge to put your best interests before my political gain. You shouldn't expect less of anyone you vote for. How I do business as your senator is more important than any single piece of legislation that may come across my desk. And with that comes my promise to listen to your concerns when you contact me and to do my very best to solve that problem with you. Voting isn't just a right. It's a privilege and it's an obligation. Don't let this election pass without being a part of healing our country and protecting our democracy.
You can find more information online about Carrie Dorey at her website, carrieformnsenate.com. Next, the Republican candidate, Tori Westrum.
My name's Tori Westrum, and I'm the state senator in Senate District 12. I live in rural Alexandria with my wife and our 3 beautiful children. I graduated from West Central High School, attended college at Bemidji State University, and William Mitchell College of Law. We are small business owners. I grew up on a dairy farm and have a strong agriculture background. I serve as the agriculture chair in the state Senate, which is a great honor to represent you in fighting for agriculture and our farmers and our rural way of life. We attend New Life Church in Alexandria, Minnesota. And it's important that we have a conservative voice in St. Paul representing our rural values. And that's why I'm running for Senate District 12 to continue representing your interests in St. Paul.
Why do you want to be the senator for your district?
I want to be the senator from Senate District 12 to represent the conservative and rural values that I grew up with and that are the way our rural way of life is, and the values that we want to make sure lawmakers in St. Paul, elected leaders, respect. And we need that voice at the table when laws are being made, when budgets are being set, because it's you, the taxpayer, that's paying the bill, and it's all of your families and the small businesses that have to live with the regulations or changes that are made to laws. And we need to have that conservative voice of smaller government, less intrusive government at the table, and that's the type of policies I will continue to represent for you in our area in St. Paul. There are many issues that are important. Inflation is out of control under President Biden. Your family, your business are struggling just to make ends meet. Filling up at the gas pump because of President Biden and the Democrats' agenda to constrict and reduce supply of energy. We are no longer an energy independent nation. We need to return to that. We need to change the direction the Democrats and President Biden have tried to take this country. And that's the voice that I want to represent strongly on your behalf in St. Paul. I'm a pro-life candidate. I'm the only pro-life candidate in this Senate district. And I want to make sure your views and concerns about life are also strongly represented in St. Paul, along with giving you tax breaks and sending the surplus back to you, the taxpayers that paid it in the first place.
What are your priorities for the next legislative session?
Some of the priorities I have for the next legislative session, first of all, are your priorities. We need to find ways to have more employees available to businesses. Our nursing homes are asking all over the place for more workers to help take care of our seniors. Our manufacturers are struggling to find enough employees to do the jobs and make the products that they sell and keep our economic engines in rural Minnesota and across our entire state running. We need you as valuable employees and business owners to be able to make those products. So we have to deal with this labor shortage issue. One way is to make sure government welfare programs are more like the welfare to work under President Clinton, where we want government to be a helping hand, but not welfare to be a way of life. And make sure that there's not reverse incentives that incent people to not work. We want to be a partner alongside, but we want to be able to make sure people can get back to work and have employees enough to deal with all the demands our businesses have and the job openings they have, and the caregivers that we need in hospitals and nursing homes. We also need to fight for pro-life and the unborn. We need to also push for rural broadband to make sure the unserved areas in Minnesota are served with high-speed internet and not left behind. We are in the digital age. Much like electricity came to rural Minnesota 80 and 90 years ago, internet is just as important as electricity today, and that's why I've been such a strong champion for rural broadband as well for our economic development in our rural communities.
What unique perspective do you bring to the Minnesota Senate?
I bring a unique perspective to the Minnesota Senate. First of all, in 1987, I lost my eyesight in a farm-related car accident. I was the first blind state legislator elected to office when I took office. And I still continue to be the only blind legislator in the state of Minnesota. And I can bring that perspective for those with disabilities, because there's all kinds of disabilities. Some are born with disabilities. Some have disabilities that happen later in life, like I did. You have to find a way to stand up, brush yourself off, and persevere. And I can bring that can-do attitude to the legislature, and I do. I have a reputation for that in the state Senate. I have a reputation of standing up for the disabled, finding ways to help employment opportunities be expanded for those with disabilities. I think of a constituent with a disabled grandson in Starbuck that I've had a great conversation with at the Pope County Fair a little over a year ago. And the passion that that grandfather and grandmother had for their grandson and the ability for him to have jobs that he could do were so gratifying to their grandson. And it was gratifying for me to have that discussion with constituents like that and know how important work can be for even those with disabilities. But I can bring a unique perspective from rural Minnesota. I grew up on a dairy farm and have an agriculture background. I can bring that small town, rural values perspective to the legislature. And believe me, we need those types of voices in St. Paul, conservative, rural value voices. And that's what I can bring to St. Paul from Senate District 12.
What is your vision for the future of Minnesota?
My vision for the future of Minnesota is a state that becomes smaller and less intrusive government. Let's have reasonable tax rates in Minnesota. We have nearly a $11 or $12 billion surplus right now. It is time to give that back to you, the taxpayers. The Democrats are standing in the way. I support reducing taxes on all Minnesotans, including your Social Security tax if you happen to be in that category. We're one of only 14 states that still tax Social Security income on our seniors. Republicans have led the charge to reduce that and get rid of it. Democrats and Governor Walz have stood in the way. With a $10 to $12 billion surplus, it's time to get rid of the Social Security tax and give all Minnesotans a tax break. The gift that will keep on giving in your pocket, reducing your taxes from your hard-earned money so you have more money to afford inflation and the high costs at the gas pumps under President Biden. Tax reductions can make sure you can afford inflation even more. That's why we need to give it back to you, the taxpayers. I have a vision of Minnesota that has the unserved rural broadband areas served in the next few years. That's why I led the charge and chief authored the most historic investment in rural broadband this past year. and I was able to pass it bipartisanly, working with Republicans and Democrats. The Senate led the charge. We passed that bill bipartisanly 66-1 with $210 million, a historic level, a strong rural bill for Minnesota to help build out more rural broadband infrastructure. That's the type of vision I have for Minnesota, so we can have more people working from home, living in rural communities, and our rural communities can continue to thrive.
And now, a closing statement.
Again, I am State Senator Tori Westrum, representing Senate District 12. It is a great honor to be the Agriculture Chair of the State Senate, leading the agriculture policy in rural development in our state, in our Minnesota State Senate, but representing your interests, your rural values, your conservative values, whether you're a farmer, whether you work in agriculture, manufacturing, or other ag sector, or one of the other great and important areas in our economy, whether it's healthcare, whether it's a small town business, or any other job in rural Minnesota, we need to make sure our job creation environment is strong here in Minnesota. Make sure our employers are expanding in Minnesota and not incentivized to leave the state because of high taxes. We need to make sure there's ample training for employees so our jobs can find employees and we can have more people moving to our rural communities to grow our communities, make sure our schools have ample number of students, and make sure that they can continue to thrive as well. While I'm talking about education, make sure our students are job one. We need to keep education essential. We need to make sure students have an opportunity to be in the classroom, not masked, unless they want to be. And we also need to make sure our teachers are supported and the parents are supported so they have adequate funding through the per pupil formula, which is why I fight for the per pupil funding so all schools are treated the same. And our students are one of our greatest assets here in rural Minnesota and in our state, and they're the future. And that's why I want to stand up for our students as well. We also want to have a strong rural broadband, strong pro-life messengers that can stand up for those concerned and the unborn in St. Paul, and I will be your conservative voice. I ask for your vote on November 8th for Senate District 12.
You can find more information online about Tori Westrum at his website, mnsenaterepublicans.com/tori.westrum. And finally, We the People Party candidate, Ashley Klingbeil.
My name is Ashley Klingbeil, and I want to go to St. Paul as the next state senator for Senate District 12 to fight for my freedom. Politics has never been an aspiration of mine. I'm a busy mom of 3 trying to build my career, so as you can imagine, running for office in my spare time wasn't exactly what I imagined. I feel like I was left no choice as I see no warriors out there fighting for my freedom. I guess they say if you want to get a job done, you need to do it yourself. Sorry. Filing started May 17th, 2022. And so I decided like 3 days before filing that I was going to run for office, and run I did. I ran as fast as I could to break away from the Uniparty. It's just $100 to file as a Democrat or a Republican. And if you want to do something else, you have 14 days to collect 500 signatures. I've never believed in the way the Uniparty operates, and so I was against contributing to it by filing as an R. I decided to stand for something different in politics, and that's we the people. I'm a real mom with a real job who needs my peers to stand up and fight for our rights alongside me. We don't need to fall victim to government overreach at the hands of our politicians. We can fire these incumbent and career politicians and elect new people, people who are willing to pick up the flag and climb to the top of the hill no matter what. Thank you.
Why do you want to be the senator for your district?
The reason I want to be the senator for my district is so I can fight for we the people's freedom and liberty. I'm afraid that I am losing mine, so it prompted me to fight for yours while trying to defend my own. I can't do this alone, and I need the people to stand up and help fight with me. Fighting for freedom starts locally. We need to plant the grass seeds right now in order to let it grow. I want to inspire others to get involved at every level of government.
What are your priorities for the next legislative session?
A top priority in the next session is going to be protecting our Second Amendment rights that granted to us by the United States Constitution. With the Safer Community Acts passed earlier this year, you can bet the federal government will be trying to bribe our state legislator into enacting red flag laws. I will always vote no on any attack against our constitutional rights. Another priority of mine is defending medical freedom and the right to exemption statuses. I want all parents in the state of Minnesota to have a Bill of Rights regarding their children's education, and this is a matter that needs to be addressed immediately. As a mother of 3 that left our local school district 2 years ago, I feel like my children and myself as a parent didn't have the rights we should, and I didn't feel equal. The state needs to stop stealing our money, and legislation needs to address income and taxes. That's another great concern of mine.
What unique perspective do you bring to the Minnesota Senate?
The unique perspective I think I would bring to the Senate is just my warrior attitude. I'm a very strong fighter for what I believe is right. A core belief of mine is the freedom of choice and to be not restricted from government. A least restrictive government is a universal application to be applied at the school level, in cities, in counties, at the state level and federally. I want people to get involved, and I want them to elect those warriors to climb to the top of the hill.
What is your vision for the future of Minnesota?
My vision for the future is to see all of our rights restored and true equality for all. The government picking and choosing for us isn't freedom for any. I see the government at all levels rapidly increasing, and my goal is to not only slow down that, but to start dismantling the overgrown power shift that happened without hardly anybody noticing. I want the power restored to the people. My vision is for others to stand up and get involved too. Education and awareness of government rules and policies is key. I dream of more transparency and honesty in politics. It is the duty of our representatives to inform us what is happening in the government and in our legislature. I pray those elected stop being so meek and quiet.
And now, a closing statement.
It takes a village. I want to be in the Minnesota legislature so that I can try my best to help fight off the attack of our freedoms on the people. I won't stay quiet about the fraud and corruption I see happening, no matter where it's happening. I want to educate the people about current events that are local, state, federal, and global. I believe there's an attack on us from the top down, and to beat it off, we need to start at the bottom and plant those seeds. Please vote for me on November 8th. You can find me on Facebook to see more what I'm about, and I have a website, www.klingbeilforsenate.com. Thank you.
You can find out more information about Ashley Klingbeil at her website, klingbeilforsenate.com. Learn more about voting, how to register, and what district you live in by visiting the Minnesota Secretary of State website at mnvotes.org. Remember, Election Day is Tuesday, November 8th. Thank you for watching Meet the Candidates on Pioneer PBS.